Okay, today we are going to cover chapter 19, which is all about acids and bases. And luckily, you have hopefully learned about acids and bases in the past in middle school, so this should be a little bit of review for you and relatively easy. So, some characteristics of acids that you need to know: they taste sour, citric acid in lemons and oranges. They are corrosive, and what they do is they increase the concentration of H plus ions in water, of hydrogen ions. All acids start with an H, okay, a hydrogen atom. Hydrochloric acid is HCl. Hydrobromic acid is HBr. Okay, they all start with H. And when they are put into water, they do what's known as dissociate, or break apart into the ions that they're made up of. And so any substance that increases how many hydrogen ions you have in the water, that's considered an acid. And you'll notice around the word concentration, I've put brackets. Those brackets mean molarity, which is a form of concentration. Okay, so whenever you see brackets around something, it's saying moles per liter or molar. And we typically call an acid a proton donor. H plus is just a symbol for a proton because hydrogen has one proton and one electron. The plus means it's given up its electron, so all you have left is a proton. So you need to memorize the 6 strong acids, and when I say that something is strong, it means that they dissociate completely, they break apart completely, and therefore make lots and lots of hydrogen ions. You can see in the examples that I've put in the notes, hydrochloric acid breaks apart into the hydrogen ion and the chloride ion. Sulfuric acid breaks apart into the hydrogen ion and the sulfate ion. So we'll go through in class how you name these and figure out the naming of acids and bases, but these 6 strong ones you have to memorize because they are the only ones that dissociate completely. That's what strong means. You'll see right now that weak acids do not completely dissociate. They only dissociate a little bit, and so we call them weak because they don't produce as many hydrogen ions when they're put into water. You can see here acetic acid, which is just vinegar. That's the chemical name for vinegar. 98% of it stays on the left, and 2% of it actually moves over to the right side. And you'll notice the double arrow in the middle. That's known as an equilibrium reaction. Okay? When it's in equilibrium, you have both sides of the reaction existing at the same time. And we'll learn more about equilibrium in the next unit, but only 2% of the ions have dissociated and produced H plus ions, which makes this a weak acid. That's different from a strong acid in which 100% converts into the ionized form, and you get lots and lots of the H plus ions, and therefore a great change in the pH, okay, because you have lots of those hydrogen ions. So we talked about acids. Let's talk about bases. A base makes lots and lots and lots of hydroxide ions. So an acid makes H plus, a base makes OH minus. If you think about what do you get when you put those two together, H plus OH minus, water. Okay, that's why they're the opposites of each other. HOH is the same as H2O, which is water. So bases are often called then a proton acceptor because acids are a proton donor, bases are a proton acceptor, and so in that way they basically vacuum up the H plus ions. They decrease the concentration of hydrogen in a solution and make the pH go up. They're bitter, they're slippery, they're also corrosive, but really the takeaway message here is that since they have lots of hydroxide ions, that is going to vacuum up the hydrogen ions because they like to bond with each other and form water, HOH. So you also have to memorize 4 strong bases. And again, remember that strong means they completely dissociate in water. They completely break apart. So I would print out these notes so that you have all of these. You don't have to copy them down. So a weak base then does not dissociate in water. Remember, strong, completely dissociate. Weak, only partial dissociation. Maybe 2%, maybe 5%, whatever it is. Notice again the arrow here. That shows us that it's an equilibrium reaction. Both sides of the equation exist. It's only 5% dissociated. Okay, it's not completely turning into a base. It's not completely producing a lot of hydroxide ions. So when you mix together an acid and a base, you always get the same two products. You get water and a salt. Notice I said a or a salt, not salt. While you can get sodium chloride, which is table salt, as we know salt, every ionic compound that exists is a salt. Okay, so you can see in the example here that hydrochloric acid plus sodium hydroxide yields water and sodium chloride, which is a salt, or sulfuric acid plus potassium hydroxide also yields water and potassium sulfate. That's a different kind of salt. So these are double replacement reactions. You always get water, HOH, and the other two bond together to form a salt. But keep in mind, this only works for strong acids and bases. How are you going to know if an acid is strong? Because you have them memorized. There are 10 strong acids and bases. They were earlier in the notes. Write them down and get them memorized. Okay, so pH is a measurement of how acidic or basic a solution is. And if the pH is less than 7, that's acidic. This is probably old news to you. You know this already. A pH of 7 means that it's neutral, like water, just plain old water. And above 7 means that the substance is a base or basic. Sometimes you hear that called alkaline as well. So notice on the pH scale, as the hydrogen ion, or H3O plus, that's the same thing, as the hydrogen ion goes down, the hydroxide ion goes up. They are opposite to each other because they basically react with each other and consume each other. So keep that in mind. So how do you calculate the pH? Well, the formula is the negative log. Logarithms, it's okay. You can use your calculator. It won't be difficult, I promise you. So it's the negative log of the concentration of H+. So remember that the brackets mean concentration in moles per liter, molarity. The pH of pure water is, if you remember, 7. And so that must mean then, if the pH is the negative log of H+, that the concentration of H+ in water must have been 10 to the negative 7th molar, since the pH is 7, and the negative log of 10 to the negative 7th is 7. Okay, so that's basically all you have to do to get the pH is just plug it in. So let's do a practice problem. What is the pH of 0.005 molar nitric acid? Now here's the trick. Okay, one of the things you have to realize is nitric acid is a strong acid. What does strong mean? It completely dissociates. It completely breaks apart because it is a strong acid. Strong means it completely breaks apart. So your nitric acid is going to break up into H plus NO3, those two ions, nitrate and hydrogen. And since the HNO3 is 0.005 molar, that means that the other two are also 0.005 molar. But the one that we care about is the one here in yellow, right? Because how do you find the pH? It's the negative log of the concentration of H+. And since the concentration of H+ is 0.005 molar, you just have to take the negative log of that number, and when you plug it into the calculator, the negative log of 0.005 is 2.3. So think about this. Does this make sense? 2.3 is very acidic. Are you dealing with a strong acid? Yes, you are. So your answer makes sense. Alright, so we've talked about pH, but guess what? There's also pOH. Think about what this means. Bases make hydroxide ions. So pH is for acid. pOH must be for a base. And the thing that you need to remember is that the pH plus the pOH has to add up to 14. Okay? Or you could multiply the concentration of H plus by the concentration of hydroxide ions, and that should equal 1 times 10 to the negative 14th. Both will get you the right answer. So you find the pOH the same way as the pH by just taking the negative log of the concentration of hydroxide ions. But keep in mind, this gets you the pOH. So you can only find the pOH of a base directly, and you can only find the pH of an acid directly. But if you subtract those numbers from 14, then you get the opposite for a pOH for an acid, for example, or the pH for a base. So let's do an example. We want to know what is the pH of 0.002 molar sodium hydroxide. Now here's where the little trick comes in. This is a base. So we can only find the pOH of a base because the pOH is equal to the negative log of the concentration of OH minus. And in this case, the OH minus concentration is 0.002 molar, right? Because sodium hydroxide is a strong base, so it's going to break apart into these two ions. If this is 0.002, then so is this, and so is this, but this is all we care about, the concentration of the hydroxide ion. So the negative log of 0.002 is 2.7. But realize that this is the pOH. That's what we just discovered. But the question is asking for the pH. Well, pH plus pOH adds up to 14, right? So if we know the pOH is 2.7 and the total has to be 14, then we can figure out what the pH is by subtracting 14 minus 2.7, which comes out to 11.3. So I want you to, in your notes, show why the answer to this first one is 1.6 and the second one is 12.48. Those are the correct answers. So show in your notes how to get those numbers. See if you can get those. Lastly, just a little interesting tidbit. You can see here on the left the George Washington statue in Washington, D.C. In about 1955, 1960, and then on the right-hand side in the late 90s. Okay, so over 30 years, you can see that the acid, what acid rain has caused, and acid rain is a result of basically greenhouse gases going up into the atmosphere and being dissolved into the rain, making them acidic. So you can look up that, but I thought that was pretty interesting. All right, that's it for acids and bases. See you in class.